Greetings, programs. Roadrunner here, and I got a little history thing going here. And today is the day that didn't live in infamy quite. December 7th, 1941. I woke up around the same time as the attack on Pearl Harbor. And yeah, I've been thinking about this day. As a memorial, to my brothers in arms of all types, all creeds, all sexes. Why not? So I'm going to start with what they called the Great War. Between 1514 to 1918. We didn't get into it until I believe late 1917, early 1918, and we wanted to be isolationists and didn't want to get involved, but Europe was just about ready to spill over. The whole war was just going to end up with us. So we ramped up production, got as many people as we could together, and headed on out. That was the worst kind of battlefield conditions you could ever think of. Till the advent of the tank, people were just getting mowed down. And they were doing the old school charge thing. So just whole companies would jump out of the trenches and get mowed down by machine guns. Worst strategy, worst waste of life I've ever heard of. So I'll move on. I'll fast forward a little. 1929, the Great Depression. This is when the United States market completely fell all over itself, and basically everybody went completely poor. All the rich turned poor, all the poor turned poor, the Dust Bowl, all that. Yeah, it was quite a time. My mother was born a couple years after this, after the date you see here. She had to grow up with that situation, unfortunately. So, taught a lot of people a good lesson, though. Yeah. So let's fast forward a little bit more. By then, towards the 30s, they had elected Franklin Delano Roosevelt as president, and shortly thereafter, he brought in reform. They did a lot of building projects for the parks and recs. Hoover Dam. My grandfather worked on that project. It was back in the 30s, and things are starting to look up. It's too bad. Things just started heating up over a piece of land or a piece of water. So, as I distract you here and try to find the right coin, I had them laid out, but all of a sudden they're not here. I said them. 1940. And things were heating up with negotiations with Japan. Oil embargo, all that stuff happened shortly thereafter. It wasn't looking too good for things out in the Pacific. Japanese Empire had aspirations all over the East. Hitler in Europe and the West. Things just started getting ugly. By then, Poland had been taken over. And Hitler was ramping up to go after France. And France still had the old school, thinking of war. So, they thought the Maginot Line would stop them, which was a defense line between France and Germany. But they never heard of Blitzkrieg before. So we get to come to 1941. Things are going pretty good for America, though. Good economy. We're out of the Depression. Hey, got Glenn Miller Band. You know, all those cool movies. You know, Humphrey Bogart. I remember first time seeing the Treasure of the Sierra Madre. I've actually climbed the mountain where they shot that, down over up Kern Valley. So, of course, this is the date, 1941. December, things that completely broke down with negotiations. Japanese walk out of the negotiations. All of a sudden, they're saying, okay, well, we'll talk. A week later, here comes December. Next thing you know, bam, December 7th, today. Sneak attack. That was one of the biggest mistakes they ever did was miss our aircraft carriers. So, 1942, we're knee deep in preparations for the war. We got 2 aircraft carriers, 3 at the most. Yorktown, the Enterprise. What was the other one? The Hornet. And they just got into it in Coral Sea with the Japanese fleet. And I believe it was the Yorktown that was badly damaged, but they made it back to Pearl Harbor. And they needed to get that thing fixed right away, as soon as possible, to get a reserve waiting for the next attack. Little did they know it was coming pretty quick. It kind of looks like a 1941, but actually that's 1942 over 1 Mercury dime. It's a double die obverse, and that's Philadelphia Mint there. It's pretty good shape. Good cherry pick. Yeah, so we ended up winning that engagement. They tried to sneak attack us again, but stopped them butt cold at Midway. Yes, thank you. Yeah, but it was taking its toll on our resources, though, fighting 2 fronts. So what did we have to do? We had to try to work something out. So the Mint started making these in 1943. The steel penny, zinc-coated steel, and they weighed about approximately 2.7, 2.9 grams sometimes. It depends, Mint wasn't all that ramped up for quality, as much as quantity at the time. And there were a lot of mistakes. This one is a Philadelphia Mint, and that one was a San Francisco Mint. Remember the shipyards that they finally took out of action up there. They're building what's called the V boats, which built thousands of them, I guess, so they could haul supplies and troops and material to allied countries. Another one right there. All right. Now, after victories in the Pacific and Africa, we start working our way up towards Europe. Hey, we're winning. 1944. What you see there is, I believe, a misplaced mint mark. It doesn't look fully struck, or maybe it was a D-mint before. You can see it looks like it's double die on the date, so maybe it was an old date, an over date maybe. But that would have to be on a 42 planchet, which I've seen, But yeah, hey, we're winning. We're on our way through. The Allies together, England, Russia, Australia, everybody. Yeah, it's a fight for our lives. So, you know. Oh, here's Roosevelt. That was the guy. That was our #1 guy. Unfortunately, he died, I think, in 40, end of 44, or beginning of 45. I think he had, what, multiple sclerosis or something else. I don't know. He was debilitated for a while. He was in a wheelchair. But, you know, didn't make it out. That's probably why he's still there on this. One of the greatest we had. Helped win us a war. By then, Harry S. Truman ended up taking over for him as vice president. There's another 44 for your viewing pleasure. There we go. All right. Well, here you go. 45. D-Day. Was it D-Day 45? Yeah. I think it was June 6th. Biggest mobile operation probably ever, other than, I would say, Desert Storm, all at once, I mean. Now, every ship we could muster, every man we could muster, just blasted the whole Normandy coast. And flip back a little. There's a war nickel. 1943 over 42, eh? And see around the 3, there's a little doubling there. Yeah. They had to reuse what they could, I'm sure, back then. It's pretty nicely struck. Yeah. No steps or anything, though. San Francisco, man. But it's really, really nicely struck. I got a bunch of other ones, you know. I'm not going to go much farther than this, but this was a tribute to our fighting forces back then. And let's step back since I got these in my hand. See, that's a 1914S. Nice mint steak. Ooh, ah. Okay. Kind of look a little crappy underneath. But I'm not taking these out anymore. I'm getting them ready to sell or auction off. But they're going to find a new home. I got other priorities as far as trying to get my collection. I'm going to start over. Yeah, I had fun. I still have fun. I'll keep doing it. I'm not stopping. I'm actually going to ramp it up. But, you know, I got to take what I got and turn it over. It's a 1918S. Yeah. You'll find that, you know, finding one like that with really, you know, detailed wheat stalks at that year, this thing's 100 years old, over 100 years old now. That's pretty good, you know. They would consider this at least I would say, you know, they would probably designate this red, or, you know, they would probably kind of argue about it, but, you know, a lot of these I've seen red, you know, looking like that. Yeah, and this is easily, I would say about 64 plus, 65, give or take. Yeah, like, you know, like a lot of us say, it's subjective. I think this is a double dice 17. I got about 3 of them. No, that's not. Well, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Just so you know, on these 1917 double dice, some of the earlier ones, I mean, in the early die states, you got to get a real close, good look at them, because it's a little, you know, it's a little subtle sometimes. But when you get to, you see how it kind of spreads out when you kind of shift it. Yeah, the pickup point is the 9. You know, you look at the 9 and you kind of shift it around and see where you can get the. I don't know if you can see it, but you can get the thing to shift into double mode. And here's another nice one. I think it's, yeah, this is probably one I've been looking for a long time, and I finally found just recently. A Mint State 1944 D over S. I doubt you could see it. I mean, it's sometimes it's hard to find these things, you know, even when you're looking at it with a loupe. But I finally confirmed it myself when I got good lighting and good shading, and I could see how it was jumping up. The top of the S was jumping up over the top of the D. Okay, that's it. December 7th over. Hey, victory in Europe, victory in Japan. Woohoo! We're done with war. Well, at least for big ones anyway, for a while. Have a good day.